Ever wondered how a simple Hello World program works in C? It's simpler than you might imagine. We're about to embark on a fascinating journey into the realm of C programming, where we'll dissect piece by piece the anatomy of a basic Hello World program. This might seem like a trivial task, but understanding the fundamental components of this program is crucial. It's like learning the ABCs before you start writing essays. The Hello World program is the first step for any budding programmer. It's our open sesame to the world of code. It's like the first brick that lays the foundation for your future skyscraper of coding proficiency. In this video, we'll unravel the secrets behind this seemingly simple program, breaking it down into its core components, and explaining what each part does in a clear, easy-to-understand manner. So buckle up as we dive deep into the world of C programming. First, let's understand the structure of a typical Hello World program in C. Now, a C program, regardless of its complexity, basically follows a structure. This structure is like the skeleton of the program that gives it its shape and form. At the very top, we find the hash include directive. This acts like an invitation to other pieces of code that we need to make our program work. In the case of our Hello World program, we use hash include. This tells the program to include the standard input-output library, which gives us access to functions like printf and scanf, among others. After that, we find the main function. This is where the magic begins. When we run a C program, the execution starts from the main function. It's like the entrance to a maze where the journey of execution begins. The main function is typically written as int main. The int in front of main signifies that the function will return an integer value. The parentheses after main indicate that this is a function. They can contain parameters, but for our Hello World program, they are empty. Inside the main function, we find the actual instructions that our program carries out. These instructions are enclosed within curly braces. And go. Each instruction is a statement that ends with a semicolon. It's like the full stop at the end of a sentence, signifying the end of a thought or action. In our Hello World program, the statement inside the main function is print Hello World. This command tells the program to print the text Hello World to the console. Finally, we conclude the main function with a return statement. This is usually return 0. The return statement acts like an exit door, signifying the end of the function. The 0 signifies that the program has executed successfully without any errors. Now that we have a basic understanding of the structure, let's dissect each part. The first line of our program is hash include. But what does it do? In C programming, the hash include directive plays a crucial role. It's the way we tell our program to include certain libraries of code that we want to use. In the case of hash include, we're asking the compiler to include the standard input-output library, often referred to as stdio. This library contains functions that enable our program to interact with the input and output devices of the computer, like the keyboard and the screen. Now, why do we need to include this library? Well, if we want our program to print Hello World on the screen, we need a function to do that. The printf function, which does precisely this, is part of the stdio library. So, by including stdio, we're telling the compiler, hey, we're going to use some functions from here, so make sure you know where to find them. So, the hash include directive essentially tells the compiler where to find the functions we are about to use. Next, we have the main function, the heart of our C program. The main function, as you may have already guessed, serves a principal role. It's the entry point of our program, the location where execution commences. When we run a C program, the system looks for this main function, and that's where everything starts. Think of it as the conductor of an orchestra, cueing in all the musicians to start playing. Without the conductor, the musicians would not know when to begin. Similarly, without the main function, our program wouldn't know where to start executing commands. Now let's delve deeper into its anatomy. In a typical C program, the main function is written as int main. The int before main tells us that this function is going to return an integer. The parentheses following main indicate that this function can take arguments, although in our simple Hello World program, we're not passing any arguments. Inside this main function, we write all the instructions we want our program to execute. For our Hello World program, the main function contains a simple command to output a greeting to the screen. But why do we need the main function to return an integer? That's because it communicates the exit status of our program to the operating system. By convention, returning 0 indicates that our program has successfully executed without any hitches. while any other number signifies some sort of error. So, in essence, the main function is the linchpin holding our program together. It sets the stage, conducts the performance, and then politely bows out, signaling to the operating system whether the show was a hit or a miss. And there you have it. The main function in a nutshell. It's the starting point, the maestro, and the exit point of our program. It's where everything begins and ends. It's where our simple "Hello World" message is brought to life and shared with the world. Thus, the main function is where our program springs to life. Inside the main function, we have two lines of code: the printf function and the return statement. Let's dive in to understand their roles. The printf function is a standard library function that sends formatted output to the standard output, which is usually the screen. In our case, it's used to print out "Hello World." The format string "Hello World" is passed as an argument to this function, instructing it to print these words on the screen. Now, let's discuss the return statement. In C, the main function is of type int, which means it should return an integer value. Here, return 0 is used to indicate that the program has executed successfully without any errors. It's like giving a thumbs up sign to the operating system. If the program encounters any issues, it may return other numbers to represent different types of errors. And with that, we have successfully executed our first Hello World program in C.